Welcome to Behind the Signs, where I sit down with local business owners to hear their story. My guest today is Brandon Darr with Samson Properties. Brandon is a real estate agent licensed in West Virginia and Virginia. Brandon lives right here in Berkeley County, West Virginia, and he's been in real estate since 2019. So I'm going to give Brandon the opportunity to kind of tell his story, and we'll learn a little bit more about him and his journey, and hopefully inspire some of you that are up-and-coming real estate agents. All right, so Brandon, you're on the hot seat.
I'm ready.
So tell us why you became a real estate agent. What inspired you?
Yeah, so this is a two-part situation, years apart. In 2015, I was looking for my first house, and I went through about 9 agents before I found a good one. And back then, people were giving me combos to these houses to go see myself because I was in a lower budget price point. And thinking of it today, it's actually kind of crazy that agents were just throwing out combinations and stuff to see properties. But because I was in that price point, a lot of agents didn't want to work with me because, well, they're not making tons of money doing that. And I found one good agent, and he got me to it. Unfortunate situations happened where I actually didn't buy the house. Thinking of it today, that was kind of part of it. The second part of it was in 2018, 2019. I was still kind of like at my dead-end job, not making a lot of money. I wasn't really going anywhere. I wasn't going up, but I wasn't going down. I was just static. And I was at like the low end of this pile. So I game a lot, and I have a buddy that was in real estate in Iowa, and he's like, why don't you just get your real estate license? And that's pretty much how it started. Yeah. Did all the coursework while I was still working, and then jumped into it.
Okay, great. All right. So, what do you think sets you apart from other agents?
One thing that sets me apart from other agents is I don't work with a ton of people at one time. There's some agents out there that will work with 10, 20, 30 people at one time. And while that's okay, you can do that. To me, technically working with a smaller number of people gives them more time and day to actually be able to communicate with them and give them the service that they deserve.
So what's one thing that you wish every home buyer knew before they got started in the process?
Budgeting and credit. Those are the two most important things. And I think a lot of it is because, and when I went into school, budgeting and stuff, we didn't learn any of that. So you would have to learn that from your parents.
How do you help a first-time home buyer that's maybe nervous? How do you help them feel more comfortable and confident going through the process of buying a home?
The most important thing is just to explain and guide them through the whole process. That's the biggest part. But when it all comes down to it, you just have to tell them to jump the hoop, take the risk. And that's the thing, take the risk. If you're not comfortable with it and you don't think you should buy, maybe you shouldn't buy. Maybe it's not the right time for it. And then other people, they have everything, but they're just not confident in buying.
So what are some trends that you're seeing right now? Like what's the market like, and what have you learned?
So we actually just went into a buyer's market, which means there's more houses for sale than there are buyers in the market, which in a way is good and bad all at the same time. We've been in a correction in real estate for quite a few years now, probably about almost 3 years now, I would say. I mean, prices have dropped a little bit with real estate, and I think we're going to see probably a 10 or 15% more drop unless the interest rates go down quite a bit. Then house prices will go up again. So It is a slower market. Houses that are in the lower price range are still selling fast, and some of them are even getting multiple offers. If you have a higher price house, it's just sitting right now.
What do you think is the biggest challenge that you've faced in real estate?
So my personal biggest challenge would be just the roller coaster. You have very, very dry months, and then you have very good months. Like I can sell 7 houses in 1 month, and then not sell anything for 3 or 4 months.
Okay.
So eventually, when I get more experience, I should be able to sell, a consistent amount, two or three a month. And that's pretty much where you want to be in the long game. So.
Okay. And so, you've been in the business a few years now. How do you think that, or what changes have you seen since when you got in the business in 2019 through today in the current market that we're in?
So 2019 was actually probably the last time when real estate was a really, really good buy. Like a really great buy was 2019. As soon as we get into the COVID years, is what I call them,
Yeah.
is when, interest rates were rock bottom and then prices of houses were just going up because you'd have like 15, 20 offers on one property. And it was just like that for a good 2.5 years.
Right.
And then we went from 3% interest rates to 7% in such a quick time frame. It just deleted all the buyers in the market.
Yeah.
But people nowadays know that, hey, interest rates might stay this way for a long time. So if they need to buy, they're going to buy. If they want to buy, they'll just buy whenever they want to.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's funny. It feels like we almost lost 3 years, right? Just because of everything that we went through in this country. So
yeah,
2019 doesn't feel like it's 6 years ago when you say that number.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like that. COVID years are kind of just, they're voids when you think about it. But they were some of the busiest years I had.
So what's the most rewarding part of your job that most people don't see?
So most people don't see what happens at the closing table. A lot of people, they don't show the emotion, but you can just see it in their face and their body language that they're very happy and excited. And definitely for first-time homebuyers, once they get through the exhausting process, because they get exhausted through the process because they're like, oh, I need this, I need that, I need this. And it's just a huge process. And then once they close on it, sign all the papers, man, they're just happy to go home.
Yeah. Yeah, it's I can definitely relate with that. It's when you really think about that you're helping someone through one of the biggest decisions and definitely the largest purchases in most cases in their life. It's very rewarding.
Yeah,
for sure. All right, so where do you see yourself? Let's just say in your business in the next 5 years. What are some goals and aspirations that you have?
5 years from now, I'm hoping that I'm based more on a referral system. So past clients are coming back and buying other houses because the average person is buying a house roughly every 7 to 10 years. So hopefully those people will come back and basically be referral business. But just the consistency of closing, 2 or 3 every month. A lot of people in real estate, they want to be rich. I'm okay with just making a decent living. Okay,
Brandon, so the floor is yours. How do you want to be remembered by our audience? And maybe when you get to the end of the road, so to speak, what do you want to look back on and feel most proud of and be known for?
Well, the biggest thing is just honesty, integrity. That's kind of like the biggest point. I don't care if you're buying something that's $10,000 or $5 million, you're going to get treated the same way.
Yeah.
And that's the most important part. I know some agents, they don't want to work with people in the lower area, but everyone needs to buy something eventually. So
right.
That's the biggest part. And if you need any help, let me know and I will be in touch. And then obviously Mark can help you out on the loan side if you need a loan.
All right, so I'll definitely have all of Brandon's contact information tagged in the video. Want to thank Brandon for being my guest today and
thanks for having me.
Sharing some open and honest stories and experiences. And I like is that you seem to, through every answer and even through the interactions that I've had with you personally, because obviously we've done deals together, you've always put the needs of the client before just making a dollar. And so I think that's to me, if I had to answer what sets you apart, I think that's what it really does. So
thank you.
Well, great. Well, thanks, Brandon. Appreciate
absolutely. And take care, everyone.